Hello guys, good evening and welcome to the Formula 1 Racing League YouTube channel here for round number 3. We are at Silverstone with the lads here in tier 2, and as you can see it is very damp out there, very treacherous, typical British weather I should say, as we're going to go on board with the person who was closest to the starting their lap, and that's going to be Durpol, who's going to take us on board for a very damp lap of Silverstone here. So we'll stay on board with the McLaren. He looks to get a good exit out of the final few corners in the club section. So he's going to get us underway on this 5.8 kilometer track, and it looks like he's actually invalidated his lap, so we'll go on board with the Red Bull behind as he takes us through turn 1. A bit of a snap there of oversteer if we go through Village Farm and Abbey, and getting the car slowed down lovely there. Now into the loop, crucial to get a good traction zone out of here, because it really does open up the Wellerton Straight. DRS would usually be opened at this point, but not in these conditions, as we run down into Brooklands as we look for a late apex there. Now into left field, really want to drift out wide, then cut back in as we go on to the old pit straight on the national circuit, as we go through Woodcote and now down towards the infamous Cops Corner. Flat out in the dry, not so much in the wet, and now into the infamous Maggots and Beckett's complex as we run through, and there's a back end loss there for Alex as he goes through Beckett's and exits Chapel onto the Hangar Straight, and he's definitely lost himself a lot of time there as we head up now to Stowe Corner, and through Stowe, keeping it all valid as we come now into Vale and the club section. Around the final corner, Alex is going to be setting the initial pace as he crosses the line. It's going to be a 38 flat, and that is a lap of the Silverstone circuit, and is immediately beaten by Niels and Mate behind, as well as Oliver. So we're looking at 36s right now, as we got Mate currently on provisional pole with a 36.2. Of course, this being one of the oldest tracks on the F1 calendar, it might actually be the oldest, I'm not quite sure. I know it had its first Grand Prix back in 1950, way back when, and we're going to be treated to 26 laps of Silverstone here tonight. This is the man currently on provisional pole, the man in the Red Bull Mate, and I'm just going to quickly get the standings up as soon as Discord decides to load, and it's not really deciding to load. In the chat we have Darag saying hi, how are you doing, Darag? And we got Jewel Slab saying, way, my man can stream on our official channel. Yes, and this is the first race that I've actually been able to stream on the F1 League Racing channel. If you guys have missed the previous 2 races, they were up on my own personal channel, which is called Ivor Bryn Mike. So if you guys want to see what happened in rounds 1 and 2, go on over and have a little peek, as Make there with the improvement, and he's into the 35s now. And actually, I didn't actually see this, but Murrell, they're absolutely smashing it there with a 35.1. Absolutely fantastic lap from the man in the Racing Point. So he comes through Beckett and now through Chapel. Oh, he's purple in sector 2. If he can hook up this final sector, he could be finding a bit more time. As we go through Stowe, but back end lost there on the exit Stowe as we go through Vale. And now into a Club around the final corner and across the line. Is this going to be an improvement? No, because he cuts the final corner. Something fierce there as we got Wester now, who is one of the guys who I think early stages of this season is going to be a championship protagonist, and he's not alone in that regard. I also think that Mate, Muriel, Oliver, they got what it takes to be a championship protagonist as well. So we have to keep our eyes on all these guys as the season unfolds. We're only here on round 3, and what a season we've had so far. So as promised, I'm going to quickly get the standings up for everyone, and alright, there we go. Right, so the standings are up. At the moment we have Dog Arbs currently leading the championship on 28 points, just 2 points clear of Wester in second, who won the opening round at Bahrain but had a horrid time in Hungary last time out, and he's currently sitting on 26 points. Then of course we have Game Freaks, who managed to pick up the victory last time out, and he wasn't here for Bahrain, so he's currently sitting on 25 points. 23 points for the man in the Mercedes there, Reese Webb, who is currently down in 13th in this session, so he'll be looking to improve on his time. Then of course we got Muriel, who also made his first out in this season last time out in Hungary, and he is up there right now on provisional pole position by over half a second. Bless me. Bless me, everyone. Bless me. I have a cough. And then in 6th place we have Riker, who's currently sitting on 18 points as well. So right now both Riker and Muriel tied on points, and we got Oliver currently on 15 points after his 3rd place in Bahrain, but no points for him last time out, which is unfortunate. So we'll also look at the constructors as things get underway. It is Williams who currently lead on 65 points, a full 32 points ahead of 2nd place Racing Point. However, I'm expecting a lot of big things this season from the Racing Point team, and maybe they will be able to start closing in that gap to Williams. So let's bring the stream back up. Thank you very much, Jules Lab. So right now we're on board with Neil Smith, as he is up on his sector 1 time. Let's see how he gets on as he goes through sector 2, and the understeering there dragging him right at Copse Corner. He doesn't invalidate though, he let off the throttle just enough as we go through Magnuson Beckett. Really important to let the car flow through this section. And he's up by over 0.2 of a second, so this will put him up in a net P4. If he can keep it all together in this final sector, he may find a bit more time. We'll stay on board with the McLaren to see how far up the order he can get as we go into the final few corners into the club section. And to the line now, what is this going to be? It's going to be a 36.1. And of course we just got Aiden popped himself up into 6th place there, and I believe he's going for another lap, so we'll check back on Aiden later on in his lap. His teammate on the other hand, Alpha Wolves, is also just starting a lap. Have we got anyone nearing the end of their laps? believe we got Cohen, who is coming down the old pit straight to go into the old turn 1 of Copse Corner, and back end slide there as we go through Copse, and that is not what you'd like to see. That's just scrubbing off time through there. As we go through Maggotts and Beckett, now looking for a good exit out of Chapel onto the Hangar Straight, and he is 9 seconds up on his time, and rightfully so as well. Looking at his first initial lap time of a 1:48.2. He has to hook up this final sector to really get himself in the mix as we go through the club section. What is this going to be for the man in the Alfa Romeo? As we go to the line now, it's going to be a 37.9. It just gets him ahead of Alex, who is out of this out of the session. And we're going to go on board with Aiden as he crosses the line. It's a 6 times improvement, but he gets immediately beaten by Ryan Webb, who finds a lot of time, gets himself up in the 3rd. And then we got Lib now up in 2nd, so the times are starting to get faster. We've got an Alpha Tauri coming to the line, and that's going to be West at the start of his flying lap. So let's stay on board with Wester for this lap. The man who won in the opening round at Bahrain had a torrid time in Hungary. Definitely deserved more than what he got out of that race, but sometimes that does happen in league racing. And Wester will be looking to bounce back strong here tonight. As we go to the first sector split, he's 2 temps up, so this already gets him in between both of the McLaren boys ahead. He gets in between them, but it's all about this middle sector. How much can he gain in this middle sector, and of course in the final sector? We go through Copse, keeping a nice calm and composed through there as we go through Maggott and now into Beckett. And now the exit of Chapel. What's this going to be? He's 3 times up. This will get him ahead of both McLarens now. As we go into Stowe. And now through Vale. And into the club section around the final corner. Is Wester going to be able to jump Oliver? He does, and in fact he jumps up into P3 ahead of Ryan Webb, so he found a lot of time in our final sector. So a good lap there for Wester. What about his teammate? His teammate 8 temps up, so he's going to be thereabouts as he comes through the final corner. And it's a 35.5 for Prickly. Oh, sorry, Pricky. That's his name, Pricky. I thought I saw a lowercase L. It's not a lowercase L. I'm seeing things. We've got Dog Arbs, who is in 0 ERS, and we got Game Freaks, who improves by a 10th, but it's not a lot. Does get him up ahead of Alpha Wolves though, and I believe he gets him ahead of Kyla as well. As we got V8 Field to the line, jumping himself up into 17th. We have the Mercedes of Ryan Webb going into the pits, and Oliver there going up into 3rd place as he gets a big snap there through turn 1, and he is around. That is not good there for Oliver, and that's going to be his qualifying session over and done with. So right now we've got Wester in the pits, his teammate doesn't have enough fuel to go around again, so we'll go on board. As Oliver's actually been disqualified from this. Oh no! Oliver being disqualified after losing the car. Going for a spin. That's heartbreaking. As we got Ryan Webb, Kyle retiring from the session. Doggobs and both of the Williams have invalidated their laps, so we'll go on board with the next man, which I believe is going to be Alpha Wolves, as he comes to the final couple of corners now. What is Alpha Wolves going to do? Is he up on his time? He does improve and he gets himself up into 6th place there. Good lap there from Alpha Wolves. And of course now we got the Haas of Tenured Frog, who has invalidated his teammate. However, on the front row, he is just starting his flying lap, so we have to look back on board with him at the moment. I believe next person across the line will be Niels, as we got Mate and Mate has left it a little bit too late to go out. As it looks like Niels is over 3 times up in that middle sector. If he can hook up this final sector, he could get himself up there with the big boys. And around the final corner, he does get himself up into P6, so a good lap there from Niels, as we got the Williams of Game Freaks now to the line. He improves by 3/10, but it's not enough. His teammate, is he improving? I don't think so. He does improve by a 10th. So the Williams trading positions as Cohen there gets himself up into, he doesn't improve massively, so stays down there. As we got Aiden there just invalidating on the final corner, spinning out. As V8 has retired, I believe Dirtpole is going to be the last man to set a lap time as we go through the club section. And he gets himself onto the front row there with a 35.1. A fantastic lap there from the McLaren, getting himself right up there on the front row, taking advantage of the conditions as the track is evolving all the time during qualifying. And he has taken advantage and got himself onto the front row. So run you through the orders once again. We got Muriel, who has put on pole position with a 34.7 ahead of Dirtpole in 2nd place on that front row, locking it out with a 35.1. Lib Now in 3rd ahead of Wester in 4th. Then we got Ryan Webb with a 5-place grid penalty in 5th. Then we got Pricky in 6th. We got Niels in 7th, Alpha Wolves in 8th, Matey in 9th, and then Aiden F1 rounding out the top 10. And outside the top 10 with 3 choice entire compound, we got Raka, Doggobs, Game Freaks, Cohen, Kyla, is your boy, V8 Field, Alex, Tenured Frog, and Oliver, who was disqualified after losing his car through turn 1 and taking a trip around, just spinning. And conditions improving drastically from qualifying into the race. Blue skies above, a little bit of cloud cover, but that is to be expected when it comes to Silverstone. You never get absolute clear conditions. There's always a cloud in the sky. I'm going to quickly get the stream back up. See what everyone's saying. So, guys, let me know in the chat right now, who are you predicting for the win here today? Who is going to be taking all 25 points for that first place victory? Let me know. So we're going to look at the tyre selection for everyone. Everyone having free choice of tyre compound. So when I was saying in qualifying, free choice tyre compound for the top, outside the top 10, I absolutely didn't factor in the fact that everyone qualified on Inters and everyone has free choice of tyre compound. So looking at those choices, very interesting. The top 6 all starting on the soft compound tyres. Then we got Alpha Wolves. They're the first to go with the alternative strategy on the mediums ahead of Matey, who has opted for the soft. Then we got Aiden, Ryan Webb, Riker and Dog Orbs all on the mediums. Game Freaks on the soft compound tyre, so he's going to be looking to make up places very quickly. And then we got Cohen and Kyle are on the mediums. It's your boy on the set of the softs there down in 16th. Then we got V8 Field and Alex on the mediums in 17th and 18th. And then we got Tenured Frog, the last of the soft tyre runners, and the man who really needs a fantastic start here to get himself up the order. And then of course we got Oliver, who unfairly disqualified, I would say, from qualifying, starting at the back on the set of the medium compound tyre. Strategy very easy, one stop, soft to mediums or mediums to the softs. Really want to be taking these soft tyres a minimum of 8, I'd say around about 8 laps. 8 laps to the soft tyres, I would say. So expect to see the first round of pit stops around lap 7, lap 8. And then of course expect to see the medium runners in around lap 18. As everyone now forms up onto the grid. And we wait to get this race underway. It is Muriel on pole position with Der Pole alongside. The Alpha Tauri's doing good in 4th and 5th. The Ferrari's doing well as we wait for those 5 red lights. And here they are. 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway for round number 3 here of tier 2. And it looks like Wester there with a fantastic start. He's already up into 3rd place, and it looks like Alpha Wolves there struggling a little bit as his teammate has just been punted from behind. His teammate has gone around, and we've also got Cohen around as well. So Aiden getting tagged from behind and going for an early spin as we got Ryan Webb and Alex there trading positions, and I believe we had Ish Your Boy putting Alpha Wolves under pressure as we got the Williams trading position there. In fact, Dog Orbs has front wing damage, so I wonder if Dog Orbs was the one who went into the back of Aiden there in, I believe it was Village, yeah. As we got Game Freaks now looking around the outside. Can't get it done though on Ish Your Boy. And for Alpha Wolves, really needs to make sure that you can keep up with these soft runners up ahead as we got Wester already putting Durpole under pressure for P2, and we'll stay on board with this as he moves to the inside for Stowe. Down the inside he'll go and he'll get that position, get that job done. And now we can look to challenge Muriel for first place. Meanwhile, further down the grid, the Williams trading, not the Williams, the Renault's trading positions there as Dog Orbs and Riker dive into the pit lane. as we're starting to get ghosted cars due to the fact that this game still has timing glitches. Unbelievable. But we're on board with Game Freaks right now, who is looking to try and make his way up the order as quickly as possible. He is on the soft tyres, and both him and Is Your Boy need to try to get past Alpha Wolves as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we've got Oliver side by side there with V8 Field as they exit left field. They're still going to be side by side as they head down the old pit straight now into Cobb's Corner. They're still side by side, and V8 Field there running off, but he tucks in behind Oliver now and settles down for 14th place. But great battle in between these two as we got Lib now with a run on Dirtpool. Is he going to try anything? No, he thinks better of it as they go through Stowe. The Haas keeping it in behind the McLaren for the time being. As we look a little bit further down the field, see if we've got anyone close to any sort of moves. Doesn't look like it, but the Haas all over the back of the McLaren as we go through Abbey now into Farm and into Village. He's going to launch it down the inside into Village, and it's a very, very smooth move, but Dirtpool there down the inside into the loop as they both exit, both trying to get the traction down, but Dirtpool will have the inside line, and Lib now picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's going to launch it down the inside of Brooklands. It's still wheel to wheel, and now he's going to try to maybe cut back in for a tighter line out of left field, and he does, and he's got the run, he's got the overtake on his ERS, and he's going to look around the outside of Cobb's Corner, and around the outside he'll go, and he will get himself up into third place as we got Alpha Wolves there going up the order as we got, oh my god, it's like Game Freaks and Nils both around into the wall at what I presume is, yes, on the exit of Cobb's Corner. So both the McLaren and Williams there going for a tumble there as we got Wester making the move on Muriel and getting himself up into first place now. And we got Mate with a 3-second time penalty, as we know Lib now also with a 3-second time penalty, and there's the pace of Wester there. He's now up into the race lead, and Lib now out of DRS of Muriel, so he's going to have a lot of defending to do as Dirtpool is going to start to close back up on him, and he's going to be bringing Mate and Alpha Wolves with him. But Is Your Boy looking to try and use those soft tyres to really try and get in that DRS window. No one close to a move at the moment. Aidan with a fantastic job to get himself back up into the top 10, and Oliver doing a great job as well. From last on the grid, he's now up into 11th. As we got Mate running wide there out of Cobb's Corner as we go through Magnussen, Beckett and Alpha Wolves there, picking up a 3-second time penalty. We was on board for that, and we saw just how much he cut the corner. And with DRS wide open, he's going to try and close up, but with these guys all having DRS on each other, it's going to be difficult to get yourselves in a position to make a move. As we've got Mate picking up another 3-second time penalty, and Alex now joining in the fun, but he's got Is Your Boy down the inside who mounts onto the inside curb there, sending him into the Red Bull as he's going to try and look around the outside of the final corner and maybe look for a better run. He thinks better of it. Ryan Webb there just sitting in behind, waiting for his opportunities. We've got Dirtpool being overtaken by Mate, but he's going to get the track. Oh my god, Mate there really coming back across him, as Dirtpool, he's probably not going to be very pleased with that one, being overtaken by the Red Bull. And here he comes now. He's going to try back down the inside. No, he's going to think better of it. Does the McLaren have wing damage? No, he doesn't. Is Your Boy getting the move done on Alex, and now Ryan Webb now going to be having a little look to see if he can do anything, and he can't for the time being. But Alex He's going to come straight back at Ishiaboy, and he's going to get on the inside for Copse Corner, and he's got the move done. And for Ryan Webb, this is where he's got to be careful, because these two are racing incredibly close with each other and could come into contact at any moment, as we got Ryan Webb there making the move on Ishiaboy. And it looks like he's done it through Maggots and Beckett's, which is fantastic. So we've got Dirtpool now down the inside of Maiden Alpha Wolves there, following him through. And Dirtpool now back up into 4th place. Alpha Wolves now up into 5th. As we got Mate into the pits, who gets a 5-second speeding penalty. Remember, the pit lane entry speed for this track is 37 miles an hour, which is a lot lower than other tracks, so you really need to keep an eye on your speed. And Mate is actually retired from the session, so he's gone into the pits and just retired, which is remarkable. As we got Ishiaboy also into the pits, a front wing change for him and a fresh set of boots. And Lib now going very wide, getting on the grass and losing out 2 positions there. Losing out to Dirtpool and Alpha Wolves, getting very deep there through left field and onto the grass, and that's lost him a lot of time. Alex 2.5 seconds back, not a huge amount to worry about at the moment, and Alex has Ryan Webb for company. And Aiden and Oliver are still doing pretty decent right now in 8th and 9th. They're just running their race. Meanwhile, we're going well with Ryan Webb, who's got DRS. He's got the overtake going. He's going to move to the inside for Stowe, but he's already got it done as Alex there, really carrying the speed through Stowe. Almost had to brake to make sure he didn't run straight into the back of Ryan Webb, as we got Alpha Wolves there getting past Dirtpool, as Dirtpool mounting in the final corner. And a big snapper oversteer there. That was incredibly close to hitting Lib now, as Dirtpool losing a lot of time. His setup it's just not stable through turns 1. It's just not stable at all through Abbey. And we're gonna go on board with Alex as he tries to close up to Ryan Webb, but unable to do so as the moment goes. We've got Lib now. But I'll tell you who is close to a move. It is going to be Game Freaks as 10-year Frog there goes very wide. Is Game Freaks going to be able to get this move done? He's going to move to the inside for Copse Corner. 10-year Frog, he's just letting go. Lib now dropping Dirtpool now, as Dirtpool losing a lot of time, but Lib now picking up another 3-second time penalty, as we got Ryan Webb and Alex right up behind the McLaren. And the longer we go, the better those medium tyres are, and in fact I think they are the better tyre right now, as we have Alpha Wolves slowly starting to close in on Muriel for 2nd place, and Wester doing a fantastic job. He got into 1st, he's broken DRS, and he's now 3.3 seconds ahead. Meanwhile, Lib now trying to close back up to Alpha Wolves, who is also trying to close up to Muriel for 2nd place. As we got this lovely battle for 5th going on between Dirtpool, Ryan Webb and Alex. And then we got Aiden and Oliver not too far off that pack. Game Freaks 10-year Frog, it's not going to be a good day for these guys. Dog Obs, who made a pit stop early in this race, he's just he's going around about his business. 5.6 seconds off the back of Nils Ahead, who remember had that moment with I believe it must have been Dog Roberts. It was definitely one of the Williams where they've both gone off at Cop's corner as we'll try and see if we can get on board with any battles. At the moment it's looking like this battle, the battle for 5th, is one to keep our eyes on, so we'll stay on board with this one. However, I will avert my attention towards the top if things start to close up, and it looks like they are starting to close up a little bit. Not quite yet though, as Alpha Wolves, he is in DRS range now of Muriel. So these mediums definitely working to the advantage. As you can see, Dirtpool losing a lot of time on the car ahead, not having DRS, not having the grippiest of tyres, under pressure from Ryan Webb behind. Is not looking good right now for the McLaren lad. But we'll go back up to the front. As here we go now with Alpha Wolves closing in on the racing point. It's going to move to the inside for Stowe, the Ferrari versus the Pink Panther. And there we go, the Ferrari, the prancing horse, comes out on top as the racing point ducks out into the pits, and in comes Muriel. Will we see Dirtpool follow suit? No, everyone staying out. And in fact, Ryan Webb was able to get past Dirtpool, so Dirtpool now starting to lose time, and this will be Alex's moment to get through on the McLaren. But doesn't look like he's got the legs to do it into Brooklyn, so he's going to have to sit behind the McLaren and just bide his time. Meanwhile, we've got Liv now all over the back of Alpha Wolves. He's going to try and peek down the inside, this side by side as they go through Cops, and Liv now gets that position, gets the move done, but I feel like that may have been a mistake because he's not going to have DRS now to really stay ahead. Unless Liv now decides to peel off into the pits as Wester stays out for another lap, and there goes Lib into the pit lane. Dirtpool sticking out for another lap. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for the likes of Game Freaks and Tenured Frog to peel off into the pits. So we're still waiting on a few soft tyre runners to peel off. And right now, the man who was second before making the pit stop, we'll see if able to get the jump on Lib now. Oh, it's going to be close. And there we go, Lib now in the DRS window as we got Adam picking up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help his cause as we move deeper into this race. You really don't want to be picking up too many penalties. Meanwhile, we got Alex all over the back of Dirtpool, and we got Pricky picking up a 3-second time penalty as Dirtpool is going to start to lose some time. Ryan Webb able to clear that DRS, and crucially has quite a decent amount of VRS available to him as Wester is into the pits. Dirtpool now into the pits, and this is where I think we'll see the rest of the soft runners peel off and make their pit stops. So now it's just waiting to see where these medium tyre runners come out relative to the soft runners. Which strategy is going to be best? And it looks like Wester is going to come out clear of Muriel and Liv now by some margin. Dirtpole comes out not too far behind Cohen, but he will have a decent gap between him and Liv now. As we got Aidan, who's just cruising onto the back of Alex for what is the final spot on the podium. However, we will have to wait and see if they're going to be battling towards the top end once they make their final their pit stops. But the closing speed right now for Aidan is remarkable, but is not close enough to make a move. Meanwhile, we have Lib now on the back of Muriel, and these two were dicing it out for second place along with Alpha Wolf, so this could be for a net P2. And here goes Lib now, gonna look around the outside. Oh, this is such good racing, wheel to wheel as they go through Stowe, but Lib now able to get up into a net second place. As we got Dirtpole all over the back of Cohen for 11th, and we got Carl looking at the back of V8 Field. And of course we got this battle between Alex and Aidan for what is the final spot on the podium right now. This could be the opportunity now for Aidan to get ahead of Alex. DRS wide open. The overspeed is there. Alex covers the inside. Moves back to the racing line. And I don't think Aidan knew what to do there. And now that's allowed Oliver to get himself in the mix as well. And Oliver, with no penalties to his name, could really come into his own here. As we are over half race distance here, as Wester sets a new fastest lap of 27.9. Great lap there from Wester, he's still got a little bit of clear air ahead of him, about 3 seconds between him and this battle for 6th right now. And then ahead of these guys is a lovely 11-12 second pocket of fresh air to push into us. We've got Aidan now. He's got alongside Alex as they go on the run down into Cobbs. Aidan down the inside gets the move done, and he is now up into 3rd. However, Alex will have DRS, and Oliver's just chilling back there. Alex trying to just put Aidan off, just put his car awkwardly into the corners to make Aidan just lose a little bit of a run. As we've got a yellow flag up ahead, and I believe that is Pricky who has spun and is now being lapped by Alpha Wolves, who is under pressure now from Ryan Webb. So Ryan has just thrown himself into the mix in terms of who could possibly take the fight for the podium. It's now, to my knowledge, a four-way battle for the final 2 spots on the podium between Lib now, Muriel, Alpha Wolves and Ryan Webb. And let's not forget, Oliver at the moment does not have a penalty to his name, and he could also be chucking his name into the hat. As Aidan's around, Aidan and Alex, I believe, making contact there just ahead of us, who's on board with Oliver. And we just seen a little bit of contact, I believe, between Aidan and Alex, and Aidan around. Unbelievable there. The Red Bull and Ferrari colliding together, and it's the Ferrari going for a spin. it is kind of ironic at this moment. Whenever you see a Ferrari spinning, as Wester gets the move done on Cal R, now up into 7th place. As we got Oliver now looking around the outside of Alex, they're wheel to wheel, absolutely nothing between them, wheel banging between the both of them, but they're still side by side. And there we go, Oliver now up into 3rd place. I do think these guys need to kind of calm it with the wheel banging. As we got Aiden now into the pits, it's an early stop, however softs can make it to the end. As we got Ryan Webb still trying to close back, as Aiden's actually left the session. So Aiden absolutely furious with the contact between him and Alex, and he's up and left the session. As we're going to look at this gap between Wester and Alpha Wolves, it's 19 seconds, 25 seconds between Alpha Wolves and Lib Now. Believe it's around a 28-second pit stop, so these guys, Ryan Webb and Alpha Wolves, and even Oliver for that matter, could for themselves in the hunt for the podium, as we got Alpha Wolves and Ryan into the pits, and Ryan picks up a 5-second time penalty. As the top 4 all into the pits, Wester will resume the race lead that he had earlier, but these guys on fresh sauce to see what they're going to be able to do. As we got Lib Now, who will take over second, well, a net second place as Alpha Wolves. It's going to come out, and it's going to come out ahead of Durpol. Ryan Webb just behind Durpol. I think Ryan may have just got a little bit held up by the fact Oliver and Alex both made their pit stops. So now we're just waiting for Kyle R and perhaps Dogobs to make their final pit stops. Kyle R currently out there in second place, awaiting his pit stop. But a 7-second lead now for Wester on Lib Now. And we got Muriel right behind Lib Now. 4 boys in net second place, and we got Alpha Wolves on a fresh set of softs. He's going to be rapidly closing up to these guys, as we got Ryan Webb rapidly closing up to Durpol now for 6th place, but a net P5. As there we go, Kyle R into the pits now, and that will release everyone ahead. So these soft runners, they need to put the pace down. They need to start closing up to the medium runners ahead, put them under pressure, use their tyre advantage to really get themselves in this fight. As you see, Alpha Wolves here closing that gap through the corners, as we got another yellow flag, and that is going to be for Pricky, who's around again, this time at left field. As Muriel trying to close up, as we got yellow flag in sector 3, and that is going to be for the McLaren of Nils Med, who has retired from this race. But now is the time for Muriel to make this move. DRS wide open. It's going to move to the outside as Libnow covers the inside line, and the Racing Point now up into second place, feeling the pressure of an approaching Alpha Wolves on those fresh set. Oh, as Libnow goes straight into the back, and Alpha Wolves are able to dodge, and both of them going around somewhat as Durpol and Ryan Webb look to take advantage. Durpol did take advantage. Ryan Webb now looking at the back of a potential podium position as Muriel's around again. Muriel, who was on for such a good result here, just tagged at the back by Libnow, and around he goes all the way down into 8th place. As Libnow is going to try down the inside of Brooklands. Gets it done. And holds on to P3. So right now we have a three-way scrap for the final spot on the podium. As you would think, advantage right now has got to be with Ryan Webb. He has the best ERS out of everyone. He has the quicker tyre. As we just wait to see if Ryan Webb can make this work. Durpol losing all of his ERS. These guys are absolutely spent on ERS. As Kyle R picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to be something that we're going to look at. Penalties right now. Libnow on 9 seconds. Durpol and Ryan Webb with a couple of penalties to their name. Ryan Webb with that 5-second time penalty. He needs to get ahead of Durpol and pull a 2-second lead. Right now Oliver looking in a good spot right now to take that final spot on the podium. However, he also needs to try and get through this traffic. So we're on lap 20 of 26. Wester currently leading the way by 7.8 seconds. It is coming down, but I don't think it's coming down quick enough for Alpha Wolves. However, building that gap now to third is crucial now for Alpha Wolves. And the battle for third. Penalties will play a factor in this, I can assure you of that. But the battle for third on track goes all the way down to Alex in 7th place. Then we've got Muriel, who is trying his best to really get himself back into this, but he's got Game Freaks now making a move on the inside into Stone. Game Freaks now up into P8. As everyone now all aboard the DRS train. As Libnow leads the way in this train. Oliver again, a fantastic run there through the loop. And in fact, Ryan Webb there closing in on the McLaren. Very wide there from Oliver. That might open things up for Alex to potentially have a little go. And what an exit there from Alex. Is he going to be able to get alongside? No, he's not. And in fact, Oliver again very close to the back of Ryan Webb as well. So Ryan really needs to start using his ERS a bit if he wants to get this final spot on the podium. So now Ryan Webb, will he use his ERS? Yes, he is going to use it. Is it going to be enough? He's starting to pull away from Oliver. In fact, Oliver had a little look down the inside. Made Ryan Webb just make that mistake, locking up. And now Ryan has to try and close back up to the cars ahead. He currently needs to get past these two medium runners if he wants any hope of keeping getting a podium here today. He needs to get past Dirtpool and Libnow. He needs to gap Oliver by 5 seconds. And Libnow picking up another 3-second time penalty. Libnow definitely taking himself out of the equation. And Dirtpool now with a fantastic run on the Haas as they go through the old start finish straight towards Copse, and it is going to be Dirtpool, but he goes wide and there's a switchback there through Copse for Libnow, and Ryan Webb now all over the back of this. He's got to be sensing his opportunity here and now, as we got the Alfa Romeo of Cohen who spun around at Village. Here goes Dirtpool, he's going to cruise straight past the Haas, and here goes Ryan Webb trying to look around the outside. The grip's not there, he couldn't carry the momentum through. He's got to stick behind the Haas, and oh, there we go, the Haas going a little bit deep, and that almost opened the door there for Ryan Webb, as we got Oliver and Alex side by side, wheel to wheel once again. These two scrapping it out, and this is exactly what Ryan needs. He needs Alex to put Oliver under pressure. As oh no, Oliver there just mounting the curb, and Alex is able to go clean around the outside of him and get into P6. And now Oliver has a car in between himself and Ryan Webb, as Ryan Webb looks to be on right now for P5. He looks like he's not going to really gain anything as it stands. What he needs to get past Libnow. He needs to get past Dirtpool. He needs to use his ERS. There is only 3 more laps to go after this lap is over and done with. If Ryan Webb wants this podium, he needs to start using his ERS. He needs to start pumping in some quick laps. As Cohen's retired from the races, we've got Oliver and Alex very close. Little bit of wheel banging between the two of them. And Oliver now back up into 6th place. As Cohen has left the session. We also know that Aidan left the session earlier. That is his AI car running around at the moment, as we are on lap 24 of 26. Wester currently leading the way. The gap has closed down dramatically. It's now 4.5 seconds, but Alpha Wolves with that penalty, with 6 seconds of penalties, he's not really helping himself. Dirtpool currently on 3 seconds of time penalties. He's a man who really wants Oliver to get held up so that he can keep his podium. But as I said, Ryan Webb picking up a 3-second time penalty, and that's his chances of the podium, I think, gone out the window. As Alex picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. So these guys now starting to pick up penalties left, right and centre. Oliver in a fantastic spot. It's Dirtpool or Oliver, as Libnow tries it down the inside of Stowe. Unable to get it done now as we move on to the penultimate lap. Dirtpool currently in 3rd. Is he going to stay 3rd, or is Oliver going to be able to take it on penalties? That is the question. The gap is incredibly small between these guys, as Dirtpool picks up another 3-second time penalty, and that could be it. That could be all she wrote, as Ryan Webb looks around the outside of Libnow. Is Ryan going to be able to get it done? He's going to have the inside for there's a little bit of contact there between these two, as it looks like now Oliver, he's going to get the move done. They're 3 wide. The 3 wide as they go into Brooklands. Who's going to come out on top? It's going to be Oliver coming out on top, and wing damage now for the Mercedes. So Ryan there picking up wing damage, and that's going to allow Alex to get a good run as they're still wheel banging side by side as Alex tries to hang it around the outside of Ryan Webb. A little bit of contact again between them, and it's free white again as they go into Magus and Becker. Someone back out, and it is going to be Lib now to back out as Alex now up into P5 ahead of Ryan Webb, who's really suffering with that wing damage, but will have DRS. He has the overtake button, and he is going to use it to get back through on the Red Bull. And now is a question of a little bit of contact once again between these two. It's a question of who can keep it clean on penalties, as these guys are relatively, well, I say relatively equal. If Ryan Webb picks up another couple of penalties, he's going to be in trouble. But Ryan Webb, with that wing damage, needs to keep these guys behind as we are on the final lap of the race. The battle for the podium, I think, is pretty much all over, as we know Oliver has no penalties to his name. Durpol having 6 seconds, as we got Pricky there setting the fastest lap at the 26.1. The battle for third has been absolutely fantastic, as Muriel, who was in that battle some time ago, made contact with Libnow, who I think just ran straight into the back of him, spinning him out, and that has really hindered Muriel, because he dropped all the way back to 8th, then got overtaken by Game Freaks, who is doing a fantastic job of building that gap and is now 5 seconds clear. As we're going to go on board with West as he comes through the final corner for the final time, and he is going to pick up his second win of the season, as Oliver has managed to get past Durpol on track. Is Durpol going to be able to fight back into the final few corners? No, he's not. Alpha Wolves comes on with an impressive second place there, and Oliver rounds the final corner to take the final spot on the podium. Durpol will collect 4th, Ryan Webb will get 5th, Alex in 6th, Liv now in 7th, Game Freaks, as we got V8 Field and Carol are side by side for the final point paying position, as Game Freaks will finish ahead of Muriel, as we got V8 Field, who was just a 10th off, jumping the racing point there, as we got Kyle R in 11th, Is Your Boy 12th, Riker in 13th, Dogobs will come home in 14th. Then we got Tenured Frog, who will be the last person to cross the line to pick up 15th place, and that will draw an end to a fantastic race here. Ooh, fantastic race at Silverstone. There will be plenty of talking points between the drivers after this race, I can assure you of that. A lot of wheel banging, a lot of squeezing, a few incidents which was unfortunate, and for the second time this season, that man Wester picks up a victory, making that 2 wins out of 3, and the championship lead goes back to the man in the AlphaTauri. And here we go, we'll go for the order one more time. Wester is our race winner with Alpha Wolves in 2nd, and Oliver rounding out the podium positions. Then of course we got Durpol in 4th, Ryan Webb in 5th, Alex in 6th, Libnow in 7th, Game Freaks in 8th, Muriel in 9th, and V8 Field getting that final point, rounding out the top 10. Then outside of the points we have Kyle R, Is Your Boy, Riker, Dogobs, Tenured Frog and Prickly in 16th place. And our non-finishers were Aiden F1, Cohen, Nils and Matey, who retired very early on in the session. What a race that was. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and finally I've been able to actually stream on the official Formula 1 Racing League YouTube channel, and hopefully this will be the first of many to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed the spectacle that we have seen here today. I have been your commentator, Ivor Bryn Mike, and next week's race will be at... just have a quick peek. Next week we will be at Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix, so you don't want to miss that. Belgium, another fantastic track on the calendar. So until next week, guys, hope you all have a fantastic evening.